give a warm Lifeline students welcome to Miss Michaela. Come on, give it up for her.
Alright, well, thank you. So, like you said, I am Michaela Kelly, and I am not senior anymore. I'm a freshman at Concord. I haven't gotten this so I'm a freshman at Concord, and so I'm so excited to be in the book of James, and I'm excited for the opportunity to speak to you guys tonight. And so, if you wasn't here last week, we started this sermon series on the book of James. And James was a man in the Bible who was the half-brother of Jesus. And so, James is an interesting character because he went from denying the very existence of Jesus being the Messiah to full-heartedly believing. Like, he even gave his life because he believed Jesus Christ so much. So he had two very opposite ends of the spectrum. He went from completely denying Christ to dying for Christ. So there was this point where he went from doubting to believing. So he wrote this book for all believers everywhere, and we can take the wisdom in this book and begin to apply it to our daily lives. And so Pastor Aaron last week, he started with chapter 1, verses 2 through 8, which talks about trials and how we can consider the trials in our life pure joy because it's an opportunity for us to become stronger and an opportunity for us to mature in our faith. And so God ultimately takes what was meant to harm us and uses it to grow us. And so that's what we learned last week. And so if you guys who have the Bibles to give out already, just be on standby. So if you guys don't have a physical Bible, we have free Bibles for you today. We are so passionate about you guys getting a free Bible and for you guys digging into the Word with us. So if you don't have a Bible or a physical Bible, you can just raise your hand right now. We'll give you one like right now at this very moment. We have people who are ready. So does anybody not have a physical Bible in this room?
They're free.
They're free.
It's not scary.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. If you don't have a Bible, we'll give you one. Sweet. Okay. All right. So this week, you guys, we want you to be reading along James chapter 1 with us at home, Monday through Friday, not just tonight. So tonight, I'm going to be continuing in James chapter 1. I'm going to be reading verses 12 through 15. And so I'm going to be following the same pattern as Aaron did. I'm going to read the whole passage at first. And so James chapter 1, verses 12 through 15. This is what it says. It says, God blesses those who patiently endure testing and temptation. Afterward, they will receive the crown of life that God has promised to those who love him. And remember, when you are being tempted, do not say, God is tempting me. God is never tempted to do wrong, and he never tempts anyone else. Temptation comes from our own desires, which entice us and drag us away. And these desires give birth to sinful actions, and when sin is allowed to grow, it gives birth to death. So I have 4 kind of main points for those who are taking notes, as you should be. It's 4 points talking about what temptation is. And so first point is temptation comes from our own desires, not from God. So if we will go back to verses 13 and 14 real quick, it says that, and remember, when you're being tempted, do not say, God is tempting me. God is never tempted to do wrong and never tempts anyone else. Temptation comes from our desires. And so this passage literally just says that when we're tempted to do wrong, when we're tempted to sin, we cannot blame God. He's not the source of our temptation. Our own desires within our hearts is the source of our temptation. And so we are all human beings in this room, so we all have that sinful nature within us that desires to do things we probably shouldn't do. All of us have a point in our lives where we can say that we face temptation. And so these desires include having desires for things we know we cannot have. Desires for things that look good on the surface, but God specifically told us not to pursue. And we have our own desire to do things even though we know it's wrong and bad. So at any point in our life, we will face temptation that offers us the opportunity to pursue our desires, pursue what we know is wrong, what we know is sin, what we know is bad, what we know God tells us not to do. And so, if they will throw my point up on the screen for me, it says, temptation is an open opportunity to do what we secretly want to do or have what we have always wanted. Since temptation comes from our desires, it offers us our desires on a platter. It's an opportunity of like, hey, you can have a desire if you sin. You can have what you want if you sin. That's what temptation does. It offers you this appealing, attractive thing that meets your desires, but will ultimately lead you into sin. For an example, I love chocolate. Anybody that knows me knows I love chocolate. And so me, being in a room full of chocolate is a temptation for me, okay? Like if this room was full of chocolate right now, I'd be tempted to eat as much of it as I can for as long as I wanted to. And so a room full of chocolate is a temptation for me because it's an opportunity to have what I desire, just chocolate. That's what I desire, so a temptation for me would be a room full of chocolate. But it probably wouldn't be good for me to do that because it'd be really, really unhealthy. And so in the same way,